guys, it's Liliana from Vanillandcanela here, and today I wanted to share with you the apple cake recipe which I made last week. You guys all asked me if I could give you the recipe, so I thought why not do a little cook along and give you the recipe as well. Now this recipe is for the Thermomix, but it's really easy to do with anything else. So if you've got a blender, you can do it in a blender or a food mixer. Now if you've got a normal handheld mixer, just make sure that the apples are really tiny so they could sort of disappear into the dough. Now the recipe actually says cut the apple in big chunks. I did smaller chunks because I want to make sure it all disappears in the dough so Alex cannot see any apple. Also, last week I mentioned that I added bran to the mix to get more fibre in, but I noticed that it made the dough really doughy, like too thick. So I'm not going to do that this week. What I'm going to do is then add a little bit of bran on top. Saying that, let's just get started. So the first thing you need is 125 grams of butter. I'm just going to get my measuring spoons and another spoon. Now the recipe says that the butter should be melted, but if it's really soft, I mean super soft, then I wouldn't bother. So in my case, I'm not going to bother melting it, but you know, if yours is not soft, just melt it and you can add it in. So it asks for 125 grams. I'm actually not using a block of butter. I'm just using this spreadable butter, so I found it worked fine, so I'm going to need a bit more. This is my favourite, by the way. It's Yo Valley, I think it's called. It's organic and delicious, and it's cheaper than Lurpak, which is my other favourite brand. So the only reason why I don't buy everything organic is because I can't really afford the prices. So when I can and I see that there is a way for me to buy something for the same price, I would always go organic, of course. So 125 grams of butter, 3 cooking apples, diced, peeled and cored, which I've already done. Add that in. What else? We need 180 grams of sugar. So as you guys know, the Thermomix measures everything, so I don't have to have scales, but it's no big deal really. If you need scales, you can still do it. Okay, 180 grams of sugar done. Then we need 1 egg. And what else? 300 grams of self-raising flour. Now, I don't have self-raising flour, I don't buy it. So I have plain flour, and I'm going to add the 300 grams. Okay, I need another packet, which I already prepared. So I really like how easy this cake is to make, and also because we are not keen on banana bread in this house, but also it gives Alex a little bit of fruit. As you guys know, he doesn't really eat fruit. So because I don't have self-raising flour, I just add baking powder. Let me see, can you guys see? Too shiny. Anyway. And what I do is I add 1 teaspoon per 100 grams. So there's 300 grams in this recipe. So I'm going to add 3 teaspoons. There we go. And that is it. Now, if you have a blender or whatever you're using to mix all of this together, just beat it until it's all completely together and into a dough. I'm going to do that with the Thermomix. It's going to be a little bit noisy, but I'll show you what it should look like at the end. look at it. Okay, it needs a bit more mixing. I'm just gonna make sure, yeah, it's all mixed. Let me show you what it looks like. Let me see this light. Okay, so it is a little bit thick, if you guys can see. Kind of looks exactly like banana bread, but with apple. It smells amazing. I mean, you could add some cinnamon in. I'm not gonna, you know, rock the boat with Alex. So then once your batter is prepared, all you need is one of these tins which I've buttered and floured. My oven is at 180 degrees. I've been preheating it for about 10 minutes, so it should be ready. And you just pour the batter in. Don't know if you guys can't see it very well, but I'll show you. I mean, how quick was that to do? I'm doing this with you guys without fast forwarding anything. It took about 30 seconds in the Thermomix to get it all into a paste kind of thing. So there we are. So here's, God, let me get a better angle for you guys. So here it is, and now I'm just going to put some bran flakes over it. Let me just pop you down for a second. This is what I am talking about, by the way. It's oat bran. I just got it from Tesco's, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my hand and then just sprinkle it. It's kind of, you could use oats as well on top, I think. It's the same kind of thing. I think this is probably just oats ground, isn't it? Let me see what's in this stuff. Oh, it doesn't say. Anyway, so you could sprinkle some cinnamon on top. Here it is. Here it is. I'm just going to pop it in the oven now. I'll show you when it's ready. Here it is, you guys, just out of the oven. I know it looks quite well done on top, but I mean, it took over an hour to cook through at 180 degrees, but that's what the recipe said anyway. But always make sure it's cooked through. You can use a toothpick if you don't have a cake tester, but your cake tester should come out completely clean. Okay, so I'm going to leave it in there for 10-15 minutes before taking it out. Here it is, you guys. I put some icing sugar on top just to make it look pretty for you guys, and I can't wait to get into it.